This Halloween, ghoul all out with Instacart. Whether you're hunting for the perfect costume, eyeing that giant bag of candy, or casting spells with eerie decor, we've got it all in one place. Download the Instacart app and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Plus, enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 orders. Offer valid for a limited time, minimum $10 per order, service fees, other fees, and additional terms apply. Instacart, bringing the store to your door this Halloween.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot, we charge you a little. So naturally, when they announced they'd be raising their prices due to inflation, we decided to deflate our prices due to not hating you. That's right. We're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Surviving Reality contains explicit content full of snark and sarcasm that may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Reality.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Carly, and this is a surprise follow-up to the finale of Welcome to Plathville episode because all the good shit happened off of the screen.
Go figure.
So, in the days after the finale of Welcome to Plathville, we ended up finding out who Mr. Potato Head is because he got on the internet and started doing a live.
Honestly, the assessment, he wasn't too far off, but I would say it is a mix between Mr. Potato Head and then Mr. Clean. I don't know if Ethan knows who Mr. Clean is.
I'm going to guess he doesn't. Probably just Mr. Potato Head. That was he has a very shallow pool of references to pull from.
Yeah, there's not a lot going on in there.
But I mean, it was pretty accurate. Look, he's not an attractive guy. I'm just going to come out and say it.
I did think he was kind of like, he's like a discount bin pit bull.
That's fair. That's fair.
Not Mr. Worldwide. He would be more local. He'd be like Mr.
Tampa-wide.
Statewide.
We're not going to say his full name because he's already kind of been doxxed online. That's why he even came out and started talking, was because people had pulled up the child custody case with himself and his baby and his mother of his baby, and the kid's name is all online. That's obviously pretty terrifying. His first name is Matt. He is some kind of musician.
Yeah, it's still being pretty generous.
That's being generous.
He's an auto-tune sort of rapper, singer guy.
He's got an equal talent for music as Mariah does.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe even a little less so. I don't know.
Not less. I wouldn't say less.
Well, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with his live, or do you want to start with the texts that he leaked between him and Mariah?
Well, I think we could kind of start in on the live stuff, because then the text will come up as part of that.
Okay. He talked a lot during this live about setting the record straight of what actually happened with Mariah.
So this is where I got confused too, because then he did an Instagram live. There was also a Reddit AMA, but then people were saying that the person who did the Reddit AMA was not
a publicist
him.
or something.
It was like somebody else. It wasn't him.
And that person did say that they dated.
Yeah. So then there was some conflicting information that was already popping up between the Reddit AMA and the Instagram live.
This is the thing. Do we believe him? That's something to keep in mind as we go through the information that he shared, because he doesn't really seem to be the most honest and trustworthy of people based on the story we got from Mariah. And there's a lot of things that don't really add up. Either Mariah is completely deranged and living in an alternate reality from this man, or he's lying a little bit here and there.
I think it's safe to assume that he's lying here and there. Definitely.
Well, he started things off with talking about how he met Mariah, that she worked across the street from where he worked, and that when he met her, she was experiencing homelessness, that she didn't have a place to live.
And I was putting that into the context of what was going on around that time that they probably met. That was the time in Tampa when Ethan and Olivia were living with Mariah, and Ethan and Olivia had gone to Europe, and then Mariah just packed up all of her stuff and left that place because then she owed Ethan money for rent and utilities that were there. So then he was getting all upset when he came back and he just found that note on the counter that she was like, sorry.
She didn't tell them that she was moving out.
Yeah, she just dipped.
She apparently also, I guess, didn't have a plan for when she left, because it seems like she moved out and maybe she was like crashing on friends' couches or figuring out what she was going to do next. But I think that when he says she didn't have a place to live, that was the point in time that we're talking about.
Yeah, so when people are saying, oh my gosh, why didn't Mariah bring any of this up on the show? When did this happen? I think it was right in that time frame, and then he's just seeing it through that lens of she didn't have a place of her own.
Well, he also said that she didn't have food, that she often didn't have money for groceries, that her refrigerator was empty, that he was buying her food.
Do you think she eats food on a regular basis?
It doesn't seem like that's on the list of priorities for her.
She has coffee. That's what she gets. That's the only thing that's ever on her list to obtain.
The Lindsay Lohan diet, just cigarettes and Diet Coke.
That's the starting point for most of this, I think. It's a baseline.
Well, I'm not surprised. Remember, what was that, like last season where she was making cinnamon rolls for the girlses and she couldn't even get the can open?
She doesn't know how to interact with food products at all. What? And then she did a cinnamon roll episode this season too. What the fuck is going on with the cinnamon rolls?
I don't know. But his version of the story is like, here's this downtrodden, this girl who's in a desperate situation. She has nowhere to live. She has no food. She walks into his work. She just starts fucking crying the minute that she walks in there.
That I believe. Yeah. I feel like that's probably a regular thing. And he was talking about how he was being a helpful friend to her, and then she started developing feelings toward him, and then she admitted that.
I just think that this sounds like really convenient, doesn't it? That I didn't know that she was...
I didn't even really like her.
She was starting to develop this attachment to me. I was just trying to help her out. I wasn't trying to like be in a relationship with her.
And so maybe that's where the difference is. I wonder how much hooking up was happening at these certain points, because then I'm sure that...
He claims that they didn't hook up.
I believe, I know, but and I would have to assume that Mariah would align those things in her mind. If you're hooking up, you should be in a relationship. That's why you have those feelings.
I think so too.
I think so.
I do not believe that there was nothing going on between them, whether it was just like the way they spoke to each other, the frequency of being in communication, the things that they were doing, like him helping her going to buy food, whatever it was. She was under the impression that this person has some sort of investment in her.
He cares about her well-being. And so she was taking that as signals for long-term relationship here.
He does admit that it was leading in the direction of perhaps they would start dating. But it never got all the way there, because then Mariah, I guess, moved back home. She stormed off. She found out that he had this other woman who was pregnant, who he claims he was never married to. They were engaged at one point, and they're not together anymore, it seems.
I think the complications, we don't know where things start and end, what begins. And so he had a fiance who was pregnant, and then Mariah is in the mix here as part of this. What they were doing, what their level of involvement was, kind of not sure. They sort of tried to date for a little bit, but they were better off as friends. Mariah was very upset when that ended. So where's that disconnect? What was the reason for that? It's kind of hard to place some of that in the timeline.
I just don't understand why Barry would have met him.
Right.
If there wasn't a deeper relationship there, and why Barry would be under the impression that this was a relationship that was going on between them if it wasn't.
Because Mariah presented this as this big breakup, this terrible breakup, all these secrets. I don't know if it was that either, or if that's just how it was portrayed because she had nothing else to film this season. She would have had no other storyline.
I mean, maybe that's why it was so vague, just because like there really wasn't much of a story.
Because if you got all of the details, you would see this isn't even a relationship. So what are you talking about?
The whole thing's very strange. He also posted some texts between them. This is what she texted to him, and I think it was like after, it's when everything was coming out after the finale, people were looking up his court filings and stuff.
Explaining football to the friend who's just there for the nachos? Hard. Tailgating from home like a pro with snacks and drinks everyone will love? An easy win. And with Instacart helping deliver the snack time MVPs to your door, you're ready for the game in as fast as 30 minutes. So you never miss a play or lose your seat on the couch or have to go head-to-head for the last chicken wing. Shop Game Day faves on Instacart and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 grocery orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Other fees and terms apply.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot, we charge you a little. So naturally, when they announced they'd be raising their prices due to inflation, we decided to deflate our prices due to not hating you. That's right. We're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Hey, Matt, I know this doesn't make it any better, but I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I am so sorry. I feel as though I've ruined your life. There is no one to blame but me. I'm solely responsible for everything you're going through, and it breaks my heart. I know that there probably is no coming back from this, but it really has shown me the areas I really need to work on and honestly start completely over. No more fame, no more show, no more social media. Just give it all up and let God start over with me. I can say, when I got saved, I was not in any way prepared for what Satan would try to do with my life, and I think he almost won. This is just the wake-up call that I needed, and to give up everything that's pulling me away from God and let him completely rebuild who he wants me to be. If there's anything I can do for you, please don't hesitate to let me know. And then I can't really read this next thing. It's something about like, I certainly don't deserve how kind and gently you've spoken to me. So I just want to thank you for that.
Oh boy.
And his response was, impossible to ruin my life. My life is in order and fine. You just have to learn from it, and you can't go around speaking lies to make yourself feel better about rejection. God loves you and you will heal. But thank you for the apology.
Well, this is just crazy to me where it's now Mariah is going down what is she going to do? Just following it feels like a lot of Lydia Plath advice that Mariah is taking up here, where it's basically just like, hey, I don't know, be a nun or something, right?
I have no idea. It's sad to see the way her mind works.
How do you solve a problem like Mariah? I guess. Well, and I guess that explains why she deleted all those Instagram posts. She's trying to quit Instagram, but she can't go cold turkey. Not on the social media.
How are you going to have a career in music if you don't have a social media presence?
That's what she said. No more show, no more social media, no more anything.
Yeah, I know,
she's going to
but
restart.
Like, no more music?
I guess. I hope. I hope that means no more music. So then, yeah, maybe that's just her excuse for... I think she was realizing that the album really wasn't sounding that great, so she was kind of embarrassed to put it out. Now this is a good reason to just say, I'm going to scrap the whole thing.
So the weird thing about that comment, too, is he does mention that they've already started filming another season of this show.
And then I think he's staying out of it, though, right? Because that was
He does not want to be involved in it. He's saying that he's suing the show and that he's suing some of the family members as well. Not Barry, because he really likes Barry.
Bad judge of character all around, you guys. I did like all of the dirt that he started throwing on everybody, though, because basically, yeah, he had nothing but nice things to say about Barry because I think Barry knew.
Barry called him and apologized and told him, like gave him an idea of the things that were said about him on the show before it aired. So now he likes Barry. He does not like Kim.
Because Barry's playing both sides. Yeah. He gets to talk the shit and then, oh, I'm going to give you a heads up. I said some shit about you.
I will say he didn't say too much. He did call him like a master manipulator, and then he just couldn't believe that he was back. That was pretty much the extent of Barry's involvement, wasn't it?
He didn't get overinvested in that. I mean, the master manipulator, yeah.
Well, Kim, so this is what was interesting, in my opinion. They know what to keep on the show and what not to film, because he ends up saying all this stuff that happened between various family members and him. Kim and Lydia and Mariah just showed up at his work one day and just waited in the lobby to talk to him, to like confront him.
Again, yeah, this family does not know how to respect boundaries. So that all tracks. Yeah, that makes sense.
He really does not like Micah and Veronica and Ethan. Micah and Veronica in particular.
I mean, he was unloading on Micah and Veronica because there were lots of claims that Micah has cheated on Veronica multiple times, like 40 times.
Which, like, not a surprise. That's why they have a joint Instagram account, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's going to
like,
be, there's other indicators of something like that.
We kind of called that as soon as that came out on the internet. Like, that's a real let me be able to have access to your DM situation.
But then the stuff with Veronica, I don't know if I caught most of that. What was some of the stuff that he was throwing around for that?
Oh, he said a lot of things about Veronica, that she's harassed him. So she was kind of part of that situation with Micah. He thinks that she's only doing the show to be famous, which is kind of strange because she claimed that she didn't even want to be shown on the show. So why would you go into it not being shown at first if you're only going into it for fame?
It's just to...
Is it to drum up the interest and excitement in who you are?
Well, that, or yeah, it's your excuse where you didn't want to do it for the fame, and then they were able to convince you less than one season of filming, and you were on the show.
He's also kind of claiming that she's got like a Monica Garcia situation going on. Like she's reality Von Teese, and she's like got fake Instagrams. She's got Finstas. She's got Reddit pages and accounts that she's commenting on things. She's following conversations, that she's like really into the conversation around her and the show.
I like that he was calling out that Kim has cheated on Barry too, because obviously the assumption is that Micah has cheated on Veronica, but Kim cheating on Barry, maybe she cheated on Barry with KK Ken.
Oh no, so someone mentioned...
There's just more stuff?
Someone mentioned that she had a half Jamaican boyfriend. I saw that somewhere and I was like, the guy from the gym. Remember the guy from the gym before Kim and Barry actually like split up?
Yes.
And he was like her friend and he came over and he had dinner with them one night.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they made dinner.
And everyone thought that was kind of sus. I don't know.
Maybe that was just jokes because that was, I don't know. I don't know now.
Who knows? He really doesn't like him and he really likes Barry. So I think you got to keep that in mind when you're hearing the information that he's sharing.
But he also thinks Mariah's a good songwriter. So you can take his opinions with a grain of salt.
Explaining football to the friend who's just there for the nachos? Hard. Tailgating from home like a pro with snacks and drinks everyone will love? An easy win. And with Instacart helping deliver the snack time MVPs to your door, you're ready for the game in as fast as 30 minutes. So you never miss a play or lose your seat on the couch or have to go head-to-head for the last chicken wing. Shop Game Day Faves on Instacart and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 grocery orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Other fees and terms apply.
Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds. At Mint Mobile, we like to do the opposite of what Big Wireless does. They charge you a lot. We charge you a little. So naturally, when they announced they'd be raising their prices due to inflation, we decided to deflate our prices due to not hating you. That's right. We're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Didn't we hear that things have gone sour between Barry and Veronica?
Yeah, I think that was Olivia who was talking about that. And then Olivia and Veronica seem to be communicating
talk to each other online.
or replying back to things in kind of a joking manner online. So it seems like maybe they're okay now.
I need this show to get messier because it is so messy in what we've seen happen over the past week that like this is what the show needs to be.
Yeah, the producers need to produce this. You cannot have Kim be the creative director of the show and picking out what the storylines are going to be. It's not entertaining.
Just because he shared so much interesting stuff that was outside of his entire relationship with Mariah, because we know he doesn't want anything to do with the show. And he seems to be, I don't know that you can actually sue them for defamation when they've never actually said your name.
It's really hard to prove that.
We saw how the defamation case between Kale and Brianna on Teen Mom went. It ends up being a waste of money.
Usually it is, yeah.
But between the stuff he said about Micah and Veronica's relationship, and then we know what Olivia said about Barry not liking Veronica anymore. And he says things about Kim having a drinking problem, which we all know, but they're not talking about on the show. And then like the boundary issue. It's pretty clear the problem is the Plaths.
Consistently, it's been the Plaths.
Like, they're proving this. They're proving Olivia's point. Things that were never demonstrated on camera, that Olivia had to tell us stories like secondhand, that then people felt like she may be tweaked to be in her favor. We're finding out that someone else has now had a very negative experience with these people where they did really weird things.
But again, not the most credible source, I would say, but it does not help the Plaths' case for being a wholesome, bright and shiny family.
I'm also not sure that I believe him when he says that he likes Barry, because he reposted something on Instagram. This was like a tweet that then he reposted on Instagram. Men, if you notice that your girlfriend's father has no respect and control of his own wife and children, you will do yourself a great harm by marrying from that family.
Maybe he means his pregnant fiance's father.
I don't know. Either way, that's like a gross sentiment
that
it has.
Right.
But I don't know. Is that about Barry?
Is this just another character that they've made up? Yeah. Is this... it just feels so scripted too. It's almost like a pro wrestling storyline where you can't tell where the lines of reality and the storylines meet. It's all very blurred right now, because then they were even talking about how they were going to try getting back together. And I think that was the stuff that was filmed, like when he went to the show, because then that's when he split up with his pregnant fiance. And that's when he started getting involved with like realizing all these family dynamics, because the family didn't want him around. It's all just what's real and what's not real at this point. It's hard to tell.
And that may be the downfall of the show.
Because they don't even present it to us to decide.
That's a conflict for me as a viewer to determine where I land, who's telling the truth and who's not.
But we didn't even see Matt tell his side of the story. This is all through post things. It's not even on the show.
And Mariah's social media is still completely like MIA. She's got an Instagram, but it just has her link tree. She deleted all her other posts. She hasn't.
Because of God. Because
right.
Jesus is going to fill the Instagram for her.
Well, he said don't delete the page entirely.
Yeah, keep the link tree.
just delete all of your old posts.
Just the post. Yeah, the posts, because you want the likes and the comments. don't have those. Just leave the link tree.
Anyway, that's kind of like a little update on what's been going on. I'm sure more will possibly happen. He did do that live and then say, you're never going to hear from me again. But, to be determined.
Yeah, I guess it depends on if the lawsuit really comes to fruition here. Maybe we'll hear some more stuff. But huge thanks to Random User 15 on Reddit, because that's the Q&A TLDR that I was reading through for the most part.
Yeah, there were a couple of different summaries from that live. So if you missed it and you want to now find out what was in it, you can definitely go to any of the Plathville subs on Reddit and see full recaps and people's opinions on the content of that. And I guess we'll have to wait until next season to see if they address this any further, if they stop talking about this story, if we find out more about what's really going on with Mike and Veronica.
Probably not. Yeah, I don't think any of this is going to make it onto the show.
I hope so.
And I swear, if this isn't the content that you're coming back with, I don't need another season.
Thank you for listening. If you want to support us, the best way to do that is by subscribing to the podcast or leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
Be sure to chat with us about the episode on our Discord channel by joining our Patreon, patreon.com/survivingpod.
Stay tuned, share with friends. See you next time.